In this video, I will divide the process of developing my IOL Folio 1 into 3 key sections: intention, weekly prompts, and reflections. Rather than diving too deeply into each week, I will briefly discuss my takeaways from the weekly prompts and how I integrated IOL principles into my Magic Studio 3 project, the Husk. Let's get started. Before I continue my video, I will outline my goals for this unit. In Magic Studio 3, I'm working on a 2D animated project that requires intensive frame-by-frame animation. For IOL, I plan to craft abstract scenes that align with the narrative of my Studio 3 work. As someone passionate about body horror and hybrid animation techniques, I see this as an opportunity to refine my animation skills and experiment creatively. The story follows a solitary astronaut on a dreadful journey, using vivid visuals to depict how fear and isolation corrode both mind and body. The project explores horror through an unknown force that consumes the protagonist within a surreal, grotesque world. Most of my weekly prompts will tie into my Magic Studio 3 progress, highlighting improvements, methods, and inspirations. This week, I animated a nightmare sequence where the astronaut envisions a fleshy arm emerging from his eye, crushing his heart. The liquid in the scenes transforms into a stream of flesh, dripping down his motionless body. This segment is crucial as it foreshadows his eventual fate, being consumed by despair and loneliness. Inspiration for the storytelling comes from works like Kazuhiro Otomo's Memories and Beyond the Aquila Reef from Love, Death and Robots Season 1. The former deals with being trapped by the past, while the later features an alien entity feeding on memories. These influences will help shape the thematic climax of my project. Moving forward, I will focus on crafting imaginative scenes that convey isolation, supported by further research and references. The series Scavenger Rain, which explores themes of human adaptability, tenacity, and the complex relationship between humans and the environment, is a major source of inspiration for the enhanced fleshy form. The astronaut's nightmare, which began as a result of his sadness, may develop into an erratic, organic force that changes his mental state and deepens his psychological conflict. To animate the heart-crushing motion, I filmed myself squeezing a lemon for reference. While the movement in the footage is simple, I will lower the frame rate in the animation to differentiate between reality and the nightmare. I started with the line art before refining the final version. For this week's prompt, I will focus on animating a small object in a seamless loop, guiding its motion with planet lines and timing charts. Using Studio 3, I will create a dynamic loop featuring expressive fireflies and the main character's flame. The flame will cycle through different emotions, helping me refine its fluidity and transitions, while the fireflies will add life to the environment. My inspiration comes from Alex Greek, a YouTuber animator whose work I admired. His FX animations are smooth and meticulously crafted, with each frame thoughtfully spaced to create energetic, fluid loops. By studying his techniques like sketching circular motion paths before animating particle effects, I can better handle complex animations involving stretching and squashing. To control the movement of the fireflies and the flame, I will plan their trajectories in advance. The fireflies, for example, fly at 15 frames per second with randomized paths, speeding up on straight sections while the spacing and slowing down on curves. This intentional chaos mimics natural movement, making the loop feel organic. Meanwhile, the character's flame reflects his emotions, like surprise or boredom, based on his interactions with the surroundings. This week's prompt will focus on timing and spacing, which is perfect for my walking animation practice. While a basic walking circle might seem simple, it grows increasingly complex when factoring emotional states and physical exertion. A character's walking posture varies dramatically based on their energy levels, whether they are strong, exhausted, or disinterested, and this applies equally to my character pulling animation sequence. While the pulling action may loop 2 or 3 times, each iteration will show progressive exhaustions through subtle variations in movement. This week's focus is on synchronizing custom sound effects. I will conduct a detailed analysis of the opening sequence in the Husk to demonstrate how sound editing and animation can effectively balance intense and tranquil moments. By animating quiet moments sandwiched between the chaotic scenes together, I can tell a brief story behind a character's background. The tension will rely on the contrast between the past and the present, so the sound design followed by the changes in artistic style needs to capture that pivotal moment perfectly. My traditional drawing approach draws primary inspiration from Ghibli Studio, The Tale of the Princess Kaguya. Director Isao Takahata crafted a cinematic masterpiece by merging Ghibli's characteristic charm with a distinctive watercolor and sketch aesthetic, perfectly capturing the folktale's magical yet melancholic essence. I plan to implement similar stylistic cues in flashback sequences to visually convey the protagonist's memories during the film's opening. The past in this context will be animated in sketchy art style, using only one line continuously for each frame to portray endearing moments before the main character departs from his home planet and leaves his wife in tears. The main focus for this week is metamorphosis, so I decided to draw more scenes that illustrate the balance between evolution and mutation. Body horror will be the main theme for this short animation, so the artistic style needs to have more body parts drawing and transformation from body to monstrous, disfigured being. The atmospheric storytelling and the idea of using metamorphosis in the short animation Scavenger are inspirational due to their detailed hand-drawn animation and digital techniques. The world of this series feels surreal and organic, with all the bizarre creatures and ecosystems which function as a machine. Based on the requirement of the weekly prompts, I will pick 2 dualities for the nightmare sequence. The first one is organic and inorganic, which can be seen through the morphing of the main character's body into minerals with fungus. The second one will be spacious, cramped, illustrating the contradiction of the main character's emotion when he is being mutated. When the main character is morphing, his body will fill the screen to highlight the claustrophobic feelings of him being trapped in the mutation, whilst being smaller indicates his feeling of being left alone. I had a lot of fun playing around with cause and effect in morphing animation and experimented with weekly prompts, work which resulted in a really interesting piece of animation that communicates my narrative effectively. In the next few weeks of IOL, I will experiment with more morphing and complex animation to improve my major project in Magic Studio 3. I actually appreciate the process of making and experimenting for my major project because I have more room to improve and practice my animation skills.